Making life easier. Bitcoin has already made some formerly unbanked people, both within and without the US, banked. Okay, this is something I know Andreas Antonopoulos is passionate about. I've heard him say it so many times over the years, the last decade, and it's something I've started looking into more because it's a real problem in the world. So it's become a little bit of a passion for me as well. People don't give the poor much attention. I mean, Jesus talked about this. I'm a Christian. He talked about it all the time. You'll always have the poor with you, which is sad. More should be done for them. Bitcoin is something that has a chance to radically and positively change a person's life who doesn't have a bank account. These individuals have to travel around a country or city or town with the money on them in some cases for long trips, or literally bury it under their bed or their mattress or their home and live in constant fear of death. What about a fire? Then what? You don't realize how big of a deal it is to have a bank account unless you don't have one. How can you pay your bills? How do you make large transactions? How do you save easily? How do you run a business? Bitcoin has a chance to truly level the playing field, the global playing field at that, and raise the standard of living for billions of people. They'll have a chance to make money, save money, where they never had a chance before. With El Salvador, I don't know if you knew that, they just made it legal tender Bitcoin, 70% of that country was considered unbanked, and 10% of the United States is considered unbanked. Next, creating jobs, increasing revenues, decreasing expenses, kind of all bundled in one. The widespread effects of Bitcoin's technology are only just beginning. The cryptocurrency space has created many new jobs in exchanges like Bitfinex, Bittrex, Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, Bitstamp, along with hardware wallet manufacturers like Ledger and Trezor, and the hybrid one, Casa, and even Bitcoin mining companies like Bitmain, Riot Blockchain, Bitfury, Bitmain, Ampool. There's been a steady brain from Wall Street and Silicon Valley to cryptocurrency space, that space, for over a decade. And at first it was surprising, but today it's not surprising. And it's probably only going to continue as people innovate and more opportunities arise. It's the next hot thing. Bitcoin technology hasn't decreased expenses or really increased revenues to legacy systems in a substantial way or industries yet. And part of that is because Bitcoin and Ethereum, the two largest and most used cryptocurrencies, are open source, and they're continually getting updated and changed, and businesses can't easily build a foundation off of a moving foundation. But this is going to become more possible over time, whether it's a change to Bitcoin or Ethereum, or even business as we know it, or a coin that's more focused on just improving select parts of running a business. We can build parts of what's necessary into Bitcoin or Ethereum. So like I've mentioned before, Bitcoin's payment network use case is still what I would consider in beta. Its best use case is as a store of value in a savings account, but that hasn't done much to stimulate the economy in new ways yet, but it will with time. It's already started to, and it's going to continue as well. Transparent, fair elections. The USPS has already filed and potentially implemented a plan for transparent, free, and fair elections using an apparatus based around the Bitcoin technology. You can read all about it here. I'll include a link for it. I've heard rumors, you want to call them conspiracy theories, I don't know, that it was used in the 2020 election to prove Donald J. Trump won the election, but that remains to be seen. I don't know. And whether it did or didn't doesn't take away from the potential that this can and will be used to replace existing protocols. Because it's well past time, we can all agree, at least in our country, to be done. And I don't think anyone on either side of the political spectrum would argue that it's not a good thing to make elections more transparent and more fair. It's one of the few things everyone agrees on. And Bitcoin and its underlying technologies can make that a reality if it hasn't already. Other cryptocurrencies. I know I said my focus would be purely on Bitcoin, and it still will, but I have to at least mention some of the other things other coins are doing well. That doesn't mean that other coins doing other things better than Bitcoin now will stay that way forever. They just chose to focus on a different a benefit to the world or a different problem to solve sooner than Bitcoin did. I still believe Bitcoin can and might do all of those things better, but the future is never certain. I don't know. And you need to give credit where credit is due. And I have invested in about 24 other cryptocurrencies outside of Bitcoin over the years. Litecoin. If Bitcoin is considered to be the gold standard of cryptocurrencies, Litecoin would be considered the silver or the silver standard. It's nearly identical to Bitcoin with a few exceptions. Litecoin's focus has been on scaling better to allow for a more successful medium of exchange. Ethereum, of course, came from Bitcoin, but it went straight for smart contracts or escrow mechanisms, which is what Satoshi Hao wanted to help buyers. Satoshi talked about, but he didn't start out with these smart contracts, and they allow a lot of flexibility with any kind of contract that you can imagine. So the possibilities are literally endless from a legal perspective. This is where the latest NFT craze had its foundation. Additionally, Ethereum emphasizes decentralized applications, or dApps for short. These are applications who run across a network by group participation and not from one central place or client. Bitcoin was considered the first dApp, but Ethereum has created a way to produce these dApps from Ethereum using smart contracts. I know it's kind of mumbo jumbo, but as of now, Bitcoin is just one central dApp or decentralized application itself. Monero may be the truest form of a privacy coin that exists. Satoshi considered Bitcoin partly anonymous or pseudo-anonymous, but Monero is an order of magnitude more secure and private. And if there was one criminals were probably using, no offense to Monero, but it could be that. Factum or Factcom is a universal record keeper, or put another way, it's a decentralized notary. I'm surprised human notaries haven't been fully replaced yet because of the technology, but they probably will if ever by something like Factum. Augur is a prediction, I really like Augur, it's a prediction market platform where you can make bets on the outcomes of events. And the possibilities are endless, not just with gambling or betting. And in some ways, you can use Augur to harness what's called the wisdom of the crowds to create more accurate predictions, which I think is super cool, just the fact of the wisdom of the crowds. Golem is a coin whose focus is on sharing computer resources, which sort of makes Golem a decentralized computer. Sia coin, I'm laughing because these names to you are probably like, what? Golem, Augur? Sia coin is a coin whose focus is on using unwanted and unused hard drive space on your computer if you're not using it. So it's like Uber, okay, for your extra hard drive space. You're loaning it out or lending it. XRP or Ripple is used for bank settlement between other banks. And I think they scored a pretty large victory against the SEC over the past year. Brave, which we've talked about, the BAT coin, they pay you to watch or allow ads on their native Brave browser. And Brendan Eich, Brave's CEO, was also the creator of JavaScript. You've probably heard of Java, and one of the creators of Mozilla Firefox, which Brave is in many ways like or built on top of. Okay, that was kind of a quick rundown on some of just some of the altcoins I wanted to really highlight and kind of congratulate for what they've done so far, but there's a lot more, there's thousands. Bitcoin matters because it started all of this. Bitcoin was behind all of it. Bitcoin was the grandpa, was the granddaddy, was the Adam and Eve to all of this from happening. And it's only just getting started. So this is just kind of what I've seen, what others have seen. I think we're going to see a lot more ways that Bitcoin matters to a lot more people in ways we've never seen. Things we can't even conceive of right now that we're not thinking about, even problems that we haven't even come to face, we're going to meet and overcome using this technology. Mark my words.